Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. It is time today to do my April TBR. I'm very excited. This is probably my favorite video to film every month. I'm going to play my flip and roll TBR game, which if you're unfamiliar, I roll a die, which I have right here. I roll a die 5 times, depending on the number that shows up on the die. That determines what category it's going to give me. And then I flip a coin. If I get heads, I'm going to go ahead and pick a prompt out of this prompt jar. Prompts were given to me by my patrons at the beginning of the year. And if I get tails, I'm going to use a spinner wheel. Before we dive into April's choices, let's take a look at March's flip and roll. There are still a few days left in the month of March, so I didn't get all of these read yet, but let's see how I've done so far. It's possible that I can get 1, maybe 2 more read before the end of the month, but we'll see. So the first one that I rolled was 1 for series, and I had to spin a wheel, and I got the Wing Feather Saga. So this was book 2. I did reread book 1 as well, and I did read this one, book 2. Then I rolled a 5, which was my gifted shelf. There are not very many books on my gifted shelf right now. I had to choose a prompt, and I got one of my favorite authors. So I picked The Twyford Code by Janice Hallett. I have not yet read that one. Then I rolled a 2 for my recommendations cart and picked a prompt of a body of water, and I chose Lost Lake by Sarah Addison Allen. Still have not read that one. Then I got book of the month, which is number 4, and I had to find a book with a kitchen utensil on the title. So I read The 2 Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver, and I did read that one. And then finally, I rolled a 1 for series again, and I had a prompt of an animal on the cover, and I chose The Bullet That Missed. It has a fox on there, and I did not yet read that one. So 2 read, 3 unread, but there is still a little bit of time in the month for me to continue with those. I just don't know what I'm going to get to because it is middle grade March, and the 3 that I have left are not middle grade, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And now it's time to go ahead and roll for my April choices. I always love April. I try to slow things down a little bit. I do have 2 books that are already on my agenda for April, my Patreon book club book and my Patreon pick. We're going to see what gets picked first, if I can fit those ones in. If not, I will tell you at the end what those 2 books are. But let's go ahead and roll for my first pick for April. It is a 1, which is series. I'm glad to be making progress on series. I had a big goal for series I'm not really close to, so I would love to continue working on series. Let's go ahead and flip a coin to see if I will have to do spinner wheel or a prompt. And it is heads, which is a prompt. So for our prompt, let me take the lid off here. So for our prompt, this is filled with choices. I'll just pull one out. And oh, I got 2. Okay, we got this one. This prompt says, read a book out of your comfort zone. Oh dear. Okay. I know which one I'm going to pick. Hold on. I picked the start of a series. It's actually only a duology, and it's definitely out of my comfort zone. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I think this is cozy fantasy about an orc who wants to start a coffee shop, I believe. I know a lot of people really love this. This does not appeal to me. I found this and Bookshops and Bone Dust in a little free library, so I had to bring them home because I was intrigued enough to see. And then some of you wanted me to read this, and so it's on my recommendations list for this year. So this is it. This is definitely out of my comfort zone. I do read fantasy. I don't know how I feel about this, but of the books that are on my series shelf, which is kind of over there, you can't really see at the end, this is probably the one that's most out of my comfort zone. So we're going to put that on the pile for April, and we're going to roll again. I got a 2 that time, which is my recommendations cart. I'm excited to get another book read from my recommendations cart. I'm doing pretty good with that so far this year. Should probably give you an update at some point. Let's go ahead and flip a coin and see if I will be doing a spinner wheel or a prompt. Ooh, that was a good flip. It is heads again. All right, let's dive down to the bottom this time. All right, let's see what this one says. Oh, okay. A book with no a, and, or the in the title. You see that? So that's Easy enough. A and or the. Okay, I know immediately what I'm picking because I've been wanting to read this. One of the things I like to do in April is slow down a little bit. And that means sometimes diving into maybe a bigger book. And I've been wanting to start this series. It's on my recommendations cart. So I'm going to go ahead and put Ship of Magic. That didn't say of, right? A and or the. So Ship of Magic does not have a and or the in the title. This is the first book in the second trilogy by Robin Hobb. I've read the Farseer trilogy, and this is the second one, and this is the first book in that second trilogy. So it's going to be fantasy. I know a lot of people love this series, and they're going to be very excited that I'm reading it, and I'm excited to read it too. Although I don't love books set on ships, so I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm really excited to dive into the next trilogy of Robin Hobb. It's been over a year since I read the Farseer trilogy, so I'm ready. I'm ready to dive into this one. Ship of Magic. Whoop, whoop. It's officially on the TBR. Ha! Let's hope I get to it. All right. Roll number 3 is another recommendations cart pick. Perfect. Let's see what I get this time. It is tails. Can you see that? Tails, which means a spinner wheel. I don't have a spinner wheel for my rec cart, but I can use a random number generator. So let's just see. I'm going to first sort this by read and unread so that I can see what we're choosing from here. Let's see. Okay, so I have from 16 to, let's see, 131. Alexa, choose a number between 16 and 131.
Here's a number between 16 and 131. It's 65.
65. Let's see what that is. 65 is, okay, by any other name. That is one of my Once Upon a Book Club boxes. Perfect. I want to get through those this year. Let me go and grab it. Okay, I'm really excited because number one, this is chunky. And I'm eager to read some chunkier books in April. It's actually not quite as chunky as it looks. It has under 500. It's 483 pages, but it looks really chunky and it's gorgeous. Perfect for springtime in Virginia with all the flowers on the cover. And I have the box for it. So I get all of this fun stuff. Packages, presents to open along the way, bookmark in here, and a little Shakespearean Mad Lib. What? I don't remember what this one is really about. Let's just see really quick. This is a new novel about two women centuries apart, one of whom is the real author of Shakespeare's plays, who are both forced to hide behind another name. So there's a young playwright, Melinda Green, just written a new work inspired by the life of her Elizabethan ancestor, Amelia Bassano. But seeing it performed is unlikely in a theater world where the playing field isn't level for women. As Melina wonders if she dares risk failure again, her best friend takes the decision out of her hands and submits the play to a festival under a male pseudonym. And then also in 1581, we follow that ancestor of Melina, Amelia Bassano. Okay. Told in intertwining timelines, by any other name, is a sweeping tale of ambition, courage, and desire. Centers two women who are determined to create something beautiful despite the prejudices they face. Should a writer do whatever it takes to see her story live on, no matter the cost? This remarkable novel, rooted in primary historical sources, ensures the name Amelia Bassano will no longer be forgotten. Very cool. I'm excited. That sounds really good. And it's been a while since I've read a Jodi Picoult book. I really like how she often makes you question your snap judgments. That's how I like to describe her. I don't know if this is going to be that. This feels a little bit more historical, but I like The Storyteller by her, which also had a bit more of a historical bent to it. So I'm excited to read By Any Other Name. Yay for my TBR giving me that one. Spinner wheel. Well done. / random number generator. Okay. Let's move on to roll number, what are we on? 4. Roll number 4. And we got a 3, which is NetGalley. We haven't gotten that yet this time. So let's see if I have to use a prompt or a spinner wheel for my NetGalley. Ooh, that's a bad flip, but I got it. And it is Tails, which is a Spinner wheel. Do I have a spinner wheel for NetGalley? I think I do. Oh yeah, perfect. I do. I had to go in and add quite a few books from the last couple of months. I haven't used the spinner wheel in a little bit. So I took a few books off that I've read already and I added a few more in there. So I have 109 options right now on this spinner wheel. Let's go ahead and see what it's going to be for April. What are you going to give me, spinner wheel? Please be something that I'm interested in reading right now. Okay, cool. Water Moon. Let me grab that. I actually have it on my shelves. Okay, I'm excited that this got picked. I've heard some mixed things about this so far. This is one of my anticipated reads for this year, and it was a Book of the Month choice. Obviously, I picked it from Book of the Month. This is by Samantha Sato Yambao, and it's going to have a magical realism aspect to it. I believe there's a pawn shop of regrets and a girl who works there who's a girl and her father who work there, but the dad goes missing and the girl goes to find him, but then she goes into another world or into another dimension or something to go looking for her father. So there's a little bit of this magical side of things. The last part of the summary says, but as they get closer to the truth, Hannah must reveal a secret of her own and risk making a choice that she will never be able to take back. Okay. This is part of the summary. It says a woman inherits a pawn shop where you can sell your regrets and then embarks on a magical journey when a charming young physicist wanders into the shop in this dreamlike and enchanting fantasy novel. I don't know how I feel about dreamlike and enchanting, but I'm willing to give it a try. And this is what the spinner wheel picked. So I'm excited because it also gets another Book of the Month of my books read, and it has a gorgeous cover. I'm excited. We'll see. We'll see. All right, now our final roll of the day for roll number 5. I've had all low numbers, 1s, 2s, and 3s today. Are we going to get a 4, 5, 6? Let's see what we're going to get. Oh, there we go, a 5, which is gifted books. I don't have very many on my shelf at the moment, but that's good because I want to read them all this year. Everything that has been sent to me this year, I want to read this year. So let's see if I'm going to be choosing a prompt for a gifted book or picking randomly. We'll see. I don't have a spinner wheel for gifted books, but ooh, that was a good little flip. It is heads, which is prompt. It's hard to do prompts because there are so few up on that shelf, but we will do our best. Let's see what we're going to get. I have this one here that says, okay, that's not hard. Book featuring friends. A book featuring friends. Okay, I have 2 options, both of which I would have put more strongly with a family element, but both specifically say something about friendship in the summary. So this one says she finds solace in friendship and the beginnings of first love. And the other one says, where did that line go? Yes, Emma seeks solace in the unlikely friendships she forms with the neighbors and coworkers. So both specifically say friends. And those 2 books are The Book Lover's Library by Madeline Martin. This is a World War II historical fiction about a mother and daughter who have work at a bookshop and the power of books bringing them together. But then there's going to be a level, and I think the daughter gets sent out to the countryside, so it's going to have that storyline in it. And this was gifted to me from Monica. Thank you so much, Monica O, for gifting me that. And then this one, I don't have my little paper in there. Who gave me this? But I have also Up From Dust by Heather Kaufman. This is the story of Martha from the Bible, so I definitely would have put this more with family. Lazarus's sister, also Mary. This is a biblical fiction about Martha from the Bible. And it does say that she finds solace in friendship and the beginnings of first love. But just as she begins to imagine a new future, hardship strikes again and her dreams crumble into dust. So between these 2, I really would like to read both of them. My Patreon book club book is definitely a more bookish book. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go with this. It's going to give me the historical fiction vibes that I like, but also be reading another Christian fiction, which is one of my goals for the year. So I think I'm going to put this one, Up From Dust, onto my April TBR. This is going to be the winner. I know Keisha did this one as one of her Revive Book Club books last year. I didn't participate because I didn't have it yet, so I don't know if it was a hit with everyone or not, but I do love biblical fiction, and so I think that it will be a good one for me. This looks good. This looks like a good pile. I think it's a good mixture. So here's the 5 books that Flip and Roll has decided for me this time around. So a series book out of my comfort zone is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. Then a recommendations cart book that doesn't have a, an, or the in the title is Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. Then we have a spinner wheel pick from recommendations cart. I think again, a spinner wheel pick was By Any Other Name by Jodi Picoult. Then we had a, not book of the month. This was a NetGalley spinner wheel, and it picked for me Watermoon by Samantha Sato Yambao. And then a gifted book that centers on friendship. And so we're going to do Up From Dust by Heather Kaufman. Yay! That is a good pile for Flip and Roll. I'm excited. There's a good variety there. And then I'll just tell you the 2 others that I will definitely be reading in April. My Patreon pick for April is Broken Country. And this was Barbara's pick through Beth. Because last month, Barbara and I both read Beth's recommendation. So Barbara gave her pick to Beth. So Beth picked Broken Country for Barbara. So it's kind of a fun time that we had in that little chat. So I will be reading Broken Country. The author and the picture is there. And then my Patreon book club for the month of April, we're going to be reading The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. Look at that bookish cover. It's stunning. It's so pretty. How far will you go to find your story? So this is going to be a bit of a magical story set in Ireland on a quiet street in Dublin. A lost bookshop is waiting to be found. Please let me find it. For too long, Opaline, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives. But when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, these 3 unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. By unlocking the secrets of the shelves, they find themselves transported to a world of wonder where nothing is as it seems. Okay. I'm so into that. Bookish, a little bit of magical realism / fantasy in there. And this group of people discovering the importance of story in their own lives. I just feel like it's going to be so good. I'm really hopeful for that book. I'm so glad that it won the poll on my Patreon. And so that is going to be my Patreon pick. So those are the 7 books on my April TBR. If I only read those 7, I'm going to be fine with that because March is so crazy with all the reading. So I'm hoping to slow down a little in April, but me and slowing down don't usually get along. I usually find other things to read as well. I have been keeping track in my journal here of all my Flip and Roll reads, and if I read them, I need to mark the ones for March. I haven't marked them yet. So I could go back and read previous month's TBR picks just to get them all read by the end of the year. I mean, that's a goal. So we'll see about that. And I would love to hear from you. What is a book or 2 that you are most excited to read in the month of April? I can't wait to hear what you're going to be reading. I know we'll touch base along the way. And if you made it all the way to the end, but you don't really have anything you want to add in the comments, I would love for you to just put a little water emoji for water moon or a moon. And because the phrase is April showers bring May flowers, right? So let's do some kind of rain emoji or water emoji for water moon and for April showers. And that just lets me know that you are here and that you've watched and that you have supported my channel in that way. I love getting to see that and who's here. But I can't wait to chat with you in the comments and in another video very soon. That's going to be it. Talk to you soon. Bye.